Now you should have your doors put in and finished up. And if you feel you need to, pull a couple of dimensions on those, make sure they look right. Or you can click on your arc and check the properties for the radius. Now scroll down, radius 2 feet, there we go. Okay, so that's one way of dealing with it. Then we're going to do our closet shelving. You can offset, you can draw. So if we go shelves, of course, offset layer. Let's see what the option layer gives us. Current. There we go. That works cool. All right, so an offset for the shelves would be 12 inches. And we're going to pick all 3 of those. And then we'll start that. Change it over to the close rod. And go layer again, current. And this will be 10 inches. Okay, that's got that right. Now, we're going to add text. And I haven't done any videos yet in this class on text, so we're going to cover it here while we're working through this. We're going to use 2 different. We're going to do single line text for the room names, and then we'll use multi-line text for the door callouts. And then on the next page we'll be doing the windows. So if we look here, we got our options here. So let's start with single line, since that's what's coming out in the textbook there. And before we place it, let's go ahead and do justify. And it doesn't matter so much on the room names, but it will when we go to do the window tags. So we're going to go MC for middle center, and then we'll place where we want the middle of the text to be. So just kind of eyeball it, and we'll go here. Okay, and now it's wanting to know our text height. We want it to be 6 inches. The rotation angle is going to be 0, so we can just hit enter. And now our text. Turn on cap locks and go bath. Okay, and then we can keep that active by clicking in a new location. And then once we place them, we can select it, and you can see it puts a handle in the middle because we told it we wanted it to be middle center. Now, of course, there's still a handle at the very beginning of it there. And I can only move it in one direction at a time because I've got ortho mode turned on. That's why it's not moving easily. Okay, so with single line text, you have to set the, you don't have to set the justification. It's just a lot of times it helps you, especially when you're dealing with putting text inside an object, like in our title blocks that we have. And you have to tell it the text type that you want. And you can rotate it if you need to rotate it at whatever angle. Now for multi-line text, oh, I didn't change my layer. Let me select those. It should be on the text layer, not the close rod layer. Okay. All right, multi-line text. This is more like a word processor. And so it with multi-line we have to do a basically a rectangle of where we're going to put text. And so I'm just going to come in down here and I'm going to draw a rectangle. Doesn't matter how big it is, it can be adjusted. Now you see my word processor toolbar up there in the palettes. Well, I want this to be standard text style. I'm guessing that's on. And we want the text height to be 4 inches. It's not an option, so we'll go 4 inches. Hit tab. The rest of all that looks good. And so I'm going to type 2, 0. Now I'm going to come back and highlight the 0, so you can use your mouse to do it, or you could use your keyboard. So I'm highlighting it. And then I want to choose superscript. Is that right? Yeah, superscript up here. And that will push the 0 up. And then I can close my text editor. Okay. Now with multi-line text, you've got, if you had multiple lines, like in a word processor, it would wrap and go down. And so these handles here are the sizes of that rectangle. And so you can adjust them. And you can grab that handle to move things around a little bit. And place it in there. Okay. You can copy that and edit it, or you can type it anew. So I'm just going to copy, choose a base point, and ortho's bothering me here. So I'm going to place one there, and I'm going to place one over here. Then I'll come in here and just edit this one. Okay, so that got to the doors. Now the window markers, what we're going to do is we're going to draw a circle and then put the text inside it. Okay, and so let's come down here. We're still on our text layer, so let's go circle diameter. I'm going to go snap from there. Well, that's not what I wanted. Okay, so, I'm sorry, we'll deal with it. So, I'm going to go 9-inch diameter circle, and then I'm going to move it. And since I've turned ortho mode on, I can move it down. And when we, in our architectural drawing classes, we would draw a construction line across there so that we get all of them lined up correctly, the appropriate distance off of the window. And so I've got it in there now. So let's do a single line text. And once again, justify. It should still be set to MC if you did this previously. If not, we'll change it to MC. And select the center of that circle. And this is going to be window mark. Oh, let's see. Our height be 4-inch text. 0 rotation. 0, enter. And the capital letter A. Okay. And so we've got one window marker. So let's select both of those, the circle and the text, and we'll copy, and let's go from center of window to center of window. And that keeps all of those lined up with each other. Okay. Oh, I put the wrong size window in over here. I just noticed that. That should be a 3-foot window. Is that right? Yeah, I'm guessing. Okay, I just made a mistake on that. So, dude, I need to change that, don't I? Let me put me a, since I don't have a construction line here anymore, put me in a temporary line there. And delete that. Take this one, rotate it 90 degrees, move it up to there. Wow, glad I saw that. Okay, so let's take a window marker here and copy it. And turn off my ortho mode. And I'm going to drop it on that point there. And then move it again. Okay. And I'll pick the bottom this time. Move that up there. Now we'll do move again and choose the inside as my base point, move it out. And now we'll edit this text to be the letter B. Okay. All right, so that got my window marks and my text in. Save my file. I'm glad I saw that window. I'm sorry if I misled y'all. Okay, hatching. We haven't talked about hatching yet. And what it does is it will fill that pattern inside the wall. Hatch can be, there's lots of different patterns that can be used. You can set the scale to it, you can set the angle to it, and usually picking points inside an area to be hatched usually it works pretty well. Okay. Sometimes there are some problems. The issue being you have to have a closed perimeter in order to have a hatch. So let's switch over to our hatch layer and come here to go to the hatch command. And these are the patterns. You can scroll down them. You can hit this pull down to see more of them. And we want to find the net, what's called net pattern, because these are all different material types. Some of them are architectural materials, and some of them are mechanical and manufacturing type materials. Oh, where was it? There we go, net. Okay, we want it to be on the current layer. The angle, we're going to set that to 45 degrees. And the scale, hatch pattern scale, we want to set the scale to 18. Okay, and usually we want to keep associative turned on so that should you move a wall, the hatch moves with the things that it was picked with. Okay, and so now you go down and you pick points. And so you want to pick inside the wall there. Okay, and so you picked all of that as, whoa, I don't want the floor. Because I had a closed perimeter, so it picked up a lot of walls. So we'll come in here and pick there. Okay, so that's got all my hatch done, so I can close that, and it saved that. That's looking good. Okay, so let's save our file, and we want to go back to Paperspace now and make some changes over here. One thing we're going to fill in well, I'll tell you what, let's turn off the model space there. And let's go to our window schedule and edit it. And so now, like the book tells you, you want to be careful here with double clicking that you don't accidentally activate model space. Okay. And so this will be okay, so I'm going to have to do the superscript. Okay, single home type. All right, and let's see, what is our viewport scale set at? Okay, it's set at 1/4 inch equals 1 foot, which is an architectural scale. So let's go to our title block here. And the scale here, that should be changed to 1/4 inch equals 1 foot 0 inches. And then you can fill in all the information there on the title block. And we're not printing any of these things yet. But if you, we'll go ahead and look at it while we're here. If you right click on the layout tab and go page setup manager, and layout 1 is the tab that we're on. So if we go modify, the way it is set right now, it's set to print on an 8.5 by 11 inch sheet. That's the settings right now. It's set at monochrome. I have not really messed with, they have looked like they had a setting set up. So let me look, let's go, if we go to print, page setup, Cottage. Okay, so let's look at that. Oh, that doesn't change much of anything. Okay, it's here in the page setup manager where we set our print information. And so if we have a default printer that we use all the time, we would set it here. Often in this class, you may leave it at, no, you may set it to PDF. Okay, monochrome. Most of the time we print everything in black and white because color ink costs more money. Okay. Paper size will depend upon what size of drawing you're going to be doing. And what's available is basically whatever you have on your printer. So if your printer will not print these large sheets of paper, it won't be available there. And so we can deal with some of those things later when we get ready to do some actual printing, okay? So I'm just going to close those. All right, so fill in the title block information. Make sure and save that file under the right file name, and then submit it in the Dropbox. And if you've got questions, send us an email. Come see us in the lab. Okay.